Hi, this is Karen with the Neurodiversity Bible Club, and sh- I'm trying to film myself doing my devotions this morning, and I was filming a video, but my cat decided that he was gonna come over and get all affectionate and bat the tripod all around, so I have to try and do this again. This is the first video I've made using this tripod, and I've had some issues with it, but I'm reading out of Genesis 18 about Abraham's heavenly visitors. I already copied down Genesis 18 into my Bible journal the past 2 days, and now I'm just trying to. It's the middle of the night. I can't sleep, and it's better that I film this now and do my Bible journaling, my daily devotion time now, because later on this morning I'm going to be so tired that I can't function. So, what I got out was the Dake's Annotated Reference Bible. This was written by, I believe his name is Phineas Dake, and he lived, I think, in the 1930s. And so I was trying to film this, and my cat just decided that he was going to bat everything around and basically be a jerk. But I'm reading from Genesis 18, and these two center columns, they're the text, they're the scripture, and the two side columns, these are notes. And so right here, I'm going to read the first verses. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, three men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree, and I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that you shall pass on, for therefore are you come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, this is verse 6, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham unto the herd, and fetched the calf, tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. So, reading here on the first 8 verses, there's a lot of notes about Middle Eastern culture, and so begins by saying is that about saying about the practices and about feet being washed because sandals were worn, and this is theophany or Christophany. It's an appearance of Christ in the Old Testament. So, some notes here on what I know about this before I read this was there's 3 men, and believed to be Christ and 2 angels, and it says here that I have my journaling Bible here. If I and so I'm taking notes from different study Bibles, but I'm looking at this one, and So it's saying about some Arab customs, about the speedy hospitality being common in the East, and that the host of the those hosting the dinner really didn't eat with the other men, neither did Sarah, his wife, and so looking here under where it says milk, I've read before that the milk was more likely like a kefir. It says here chema, or curdled milk cheese. They did not have refrigeration in those days, and so the milk probably wouldn't be milk like we think milk to be now, and so all of this is just a lot of cultural stuff, and it says here, God and angels eat even in heaven, so why not on earth? And there's a bunch of scripture references. What could this mean other than what is written of this? What could this mean other than what it says? One of the great promises of Christ to his disciples is to be fulfilled after the bodies have been resurrected and glorified, pertaining to their eating, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom. And so there's just a number of things here about Middle Eastern culture, and then starting off at verse 9, and they said unto her, where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also. And the Lord said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a surety bear a child which I am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, nay, but thou didst laugh. Now I am going to, the first day that I wrote down the scriptures, I did up to verse 15, and the next day I went further than that. But uh, I just reading the notes in this particular Bible. The Dake's Annotated Reference Bible has a lot of information. It has the age of Abraham and Sarah. The Abraham was 99 and Sarah was 89. And so the next year, Abraham was 100 and Sarah was 90 when Isaac was born. And she was also past reproductive age. So in this passage, like I said when I made the earlier video before my cat came and kept batting the tripod around, Lord, where in the Bible when it says Lord in the Old Testament and it's all caps or small caps, that means that is saying in the Hebrew Yahweh or Jehovah, another word for Yahweh. But whenever it's like here in verse 3 where it's capital L lowercase ORD, or if you read God, God, which is sometimes all capitalized and sometimes not, it's usually a different name for God, this particular passage, because I looked it up online, the Lord stands for Adonai or Adonai, which is meaning my Lord, Lord, or a name for a God other than Yahweh, in reverence in Jewish religion. And so that's what these say here. And then just looking up at the top here, it has a definition of Adonai. It says ruler, master, possessor, proprietor, or Lord. It occurs 30 times as God, the first time in Exodus 20. I don't know. Here. So that is the Diggs Annotated Reference Bible, and I had a friend, Sherry, years ago that gifted that to me, and so I'm gonna open the Schofield Study Bible here and go to Genesis uh, 18. Uh, I didn't write down any of that. A lot of it was stuff that I had taken notes on. It's saying again here that this is theophany, and that's about all of that. So uh, I had taken some notes here the past 2 days about it. Uh, about it being custom for the hosts not to eat at the same time as the guests, and I don't like the way that word hosts was written, so I'm gonna take and correct that because it literally looks like it says herbs rather than hosts. So just going over this, and sometimes the correction tape kind of peels off and I kind of push it back down, but I have a fine tip pen trying to make hosts, and about Abraham running to meet his guests just earlier in the chapter before this. Abraham was circumcised, and so running it may have been difficult. I wrote that Abraham somehow mysteriously recognized these visitors as divine visitors, and about the milk possibly being kefir, and so I ran out of that, and now I'm going to get the Life Application Study Bible and see what it has to say. And so you'll go to Genesis 18. And so, and 17. And so it says here, Abraham was eager to show hospitality to these three visitors, as was Lot. In Abraham's day, people's reputations were largely connected to their hospitality, the sharing of home and food. Even strangers were to be treated as highly honored guests. Meeting another's need for food or shelter was and still is one of the most immediate and practical ways to obey God. It is also a time honored relationship builder. Hebrews 13:2 suggests that we, like Abraham, might actually entertain angels. This thought should be in our minds the next time we have the opportunity to meet a stranger's need. So, I'm gonna take a note on this. I'm trying to think of exactly what to say here because it was mentioned in two of the Bibles, and your Life Application Study Bible has more of application of how the scripture applies to your life. So, I'm going to put a box around this, and then I've been coloring these with Crayola products, but I have some actual they weren't made specifically for the Bible, but they're gel highlighters that are used in the Bible, and I'm just going to color this in kind of orange here, and I got these at Walmart. Uh, I've been told if I close this and look too quick that they could smear a little bit. So that made that orange, and if you go to the other side of the page, there's no ghosting. It's the same thing with or bleeding. Or ghosting. It's the same thing with crayons and the colored pencils, but these were a deal, so I got them, and so and those are the notes that I've had there so far. Mhm. And I'm gonna write that for my journal. I don't know if I showed it because I am filming this for the second time because the cat knocked over my tripod and was about to get all around. This is my Bible journal that I write my notes in. I also write them in the Bible, and this is just a plain view binder with a adult coloring page that I colored in it. And so I'll put this piece of notebook filler when I'm done in here, but I'm gonna write down some notes. All right, and I'll put the scripture passage. And also in here, I've been saying where it says, he told Sarah to take 3 measures of fine meal and knead it. And I forget how much. It was a big quantity for 3 measures, and I heard a sermon on it years ago. I can't remember who preached it, and the fine meal was like the good flour. I guess I'm stimming a little bit here. I usually have music on while I do this, but the thing is, I can't have music on while I'm taping this because of copyright stuff. So now I'm gonna look and John MacArthur's Bible, and I'm gonna look. And my books aren't usually in this shelf, the Bibles at least, but I have the ESV Student Study Bible here too. And I'm gonna look and see what they have to say. Turn to Genesis 18. So, John MacArthur writes, the Lord appeared. Although Abraham perhaps did not recognize at first that one of his visitors was Yahweh, he humbly greeted and entertained them and properly sent them on their way. Later, he recognized his sovereign Lord. And so that's all that he has to say. And looking. Okay. So this Bible in verse 3, it says that clearly Abraham recognizes that one of his visitors is divine. And it says, although Abraham speaks of a little water and morsel of bread, he prepares a large meal. The writer of Hebrews was probably thinking of the events when he wrote of people who had entertained angels unaware. So I'm going to write here about that. Okay, and under 18:11 it says here that way of woman has ceased with Sarah, so she has ceased to have menstrual cycles, indicating that her reproductive years had ended. And then under 8:12, Sarah honors Abraham with the title of dignity and respect, my Lord. First Peter 3:6 notes this, and indicating that she is submitting to and obeying her husband. So, take some notes on this. Now, since below here starts verse 16, I want to take notes on what's above here. I'm going to go on the other page. I'm going to write, yeah, I messed up. I forgot the T. Yeah, you gotta try to redo huge because it didn't turn out too good. Trying to write huge meal. Yeah, it turned out almost as bad. I'm gonna put a box around that. Then I'm gonna get this is one of my twistable colored pencils, and I'll just color it in with that. And this A needs written a little bit darker. So that's written there. And so there weren't a lot of notes today. I probably could have gone on to verse 16, I think, through 33 or whenever it is, but I didn't. Uh, anyway, that's how I do my Bible study in the morning.